Good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Working Trader on this Monday morning, where we look at forex pairs, particularly the Euro USD and the GBP USD, and do daily trade analysis and then try to come up with trade ideas. So let's jump into Forex Factory and see what the news is lined up for this week. All right, so this week, okay, obviously on a Monday we do not have any high impact news as always. So starting tomorrow, Tuesday, we do have some pretty important news events. So we have CPI tomorrow, 1:30. Wednesday we have PPI as well, and then Thursday we have GDP and unemployment claims. So these are key events. So that means we're gonna expect a lot of movement, a lot of volatility in the markets this week, particularly starting tomorrow. Okay. So with that in mind, let's look at the charts and see what we can come up with. So I'll start with the Euro USD. As always, start on the daily. So the daily swing is bullish. This is our swing range. And then the daily internal is bullish as well. This is our swing range. This is our internal range. And then our sub-internal at the moment is bearish. Okay, so we had a substructure internal break of structure to the downside. Now, the whole of last week I was saying that we were expecting price to mitigate this daily POI, this daily demand zone at the EQ before we start to see price pulling back. Now, price continued to drop even way deeper. Okay, but right now, as you can see, we seem to be starting to pull up. Okay, we seem to be starting to pull up. So the expectation is, as always, that swing is bullish, internal is bullish. So the expectation is that we'll continue bullish until maybe we start targeting this daily internal week swing high, or rather, sorry, this daily swing week high. Okay, so the expectation is that we might start to see bullish price action all the way. Then let's look at the 4-hour. Looking at the 4-hour, we see that this extreme 4-hour demand has been respected. Okay, price did mitigate, and then we've had it being respected. So now we have a let's see. All right, now we do have a choke. Okay, so we now have a choke. All right, we now have a choke. So this could signal that this could be the start of an internal pullback. Okay, this could be the start of an internal pullback. So now we do have that area there as demand. That's new demand that's been formed. Okay, so let me just mark that out. Boom. And that's our 4-hour choke. Okay, so obviously we're still expecting these supply areas to react. Okay, we can expect these supply areas to still hold. Alright, so we can expect a mitigation and then a reaction. Whether that reaction is gonna be a very strong one to take out, to reach this newly formed demand area, or take out the whole daily demand zone, remains to be seen. But expectation now is that this could be the reaction that will cause price to come back into this area and then we start having bullish price action continuing from there. So let's look at the 1 hour. So 1 hour, we're already starting to see failure of supply zones. Okay, we're already starting to see failure of supply zones. And what do we have here? This is a strong push up. Okay, strong imbalance. And then right there we do have our POI to look for trades from. And then we could be looking at maybe a reaction, like I've been saying. So maybe we could react from this POI, give us more reaction, or we could blow past this one and then maybe react here, okay, before continuing. So looking at fresh unmitigated POIs, this is a fresh unmitigated POI, and this is a fresh unmitigated POI at the extreme. Okay, at the extreme. So we just have to wait on price action to see if we'll get a reaction from there. Okay, so we might get a small reaction. Not sure if it will be enough to give us 2R. So let's look at that. So we have that, and then we have that. Okay, so we could get a 2R reaction. Okay, so if you fancy that, you could take a position right there. If this one fails, you could set up your limits on these two POIs. Okay, with the expectation that we are still in a bearish trend. Okay, internally though, okay, so let's look at it this way. If we look at it like that, this is our swing range. All right, so this POI is just below EQ, and then this one is just inside premium. Okay, so this could fail. Okay, this could fail, and then this one would then give us the reaction. So if you're going to focus on POIs that are in premium, this would be one to look at, and then you could ignore this one. And then on the flip side, we have an internal break. So on our IBOS, then we've had another break right there. So internal has shifted bullish. So now we have swing is bearish, and then our internal on the 1 hour is bullish. So we could start to look at looking for longs from that POI. Okay, from that POI. So this is what we have. So this is high probability because we are low in the curve. Okay, this is at the extreme, all right, of the newly formed demand zone. Okay, so trade ideas are, we are going to be looking for longs from this POI. Okay, and then we're looking for shorts maybe from this POI going down. So that's what we're looking at. And then so that's for the Euro USD. So let's look at the pound dollar. I'm gonna start on the 1 hour. I'm going to start on the 1 hour. Okay, let's go to the daily. So on the daily, our daily swing is bearish. Okay, this is what we have. Our daily swing is bearish. Once we broke these highs, I was expecting price to continue bullish to go on to mitigate this extreme daily supply. However, price just wicked this, took the liquidity, and then started dropping. So now we've taken the liquidity below this low. Okay, and we are reacting bullish, so I will call this a sweep. I'll call that a sweep, just as we had a sweep up there. Okay, so we are in this daily PI, so I'm going to, let's do it this way. I'm gonna bring it down to this. Right, I'm gonna bring it down to there. So we just mitigated the daily PI. Alright. And then all this has been mitigated, so I'm not gonna draw those. Alright, so we've just mitigated that. And however, because of that close, it means this is also a brand new daily supply that's been formed. Okay, so price in this case now, it could mitigate, pull back. Okay, either pull back to take out this. Alright, if it fails to do that, then it could be pull back, and then we continue higher, at least to mitigate this PI. So those are the two things that could happen this week. So let's look at the 4 hour. So on our 4 hour, what we have is so we had this was our internal range. Okay, we had a swing bullish break of structure. All right, and then this was our internal, we had our internal break of structure, and we've just now had an internal break of structure bearish. So what that means is this is our new internal bearish range. So I'm going to switch this to 4 hour. Alright, boss. That's 4 hour internal strong. Okay. So swing is bullish, internal is bearish. So what we could be looking at is okay, we could look at our extreme POIs to look for shorts, and then we do have that. Let's see where we had a so we have that, and then we have, so all of that has been mitigated. So these are our POIs that we are looking at. So we have this POI, and then we have this POI. So we could expect price to go mitigate that and then have a reaction. Hopefully the reaction will be just enough to give us the reaction will be just enough to give us 2R. Okay, so as it stands, what we are looking at, let's see. So let's look at 1H. So 1H okay, so this POI on 1H has been mitigated, This one is still fresh. This one is still fresh. That one is still fresh. This one has been mitigated. However, there's a lot of compression along the way. So because of that compression, we really don't have big imbalances. So we could expect that price would just run all the way, at least to mitigate this extreme POI, which I think this would be a better probability for us to look for our shorts. Okay. So as it stands, we could start looking at so because we have this 1 hour internal that is shifted bullish, so now we have a brand new demand area where we could start looking for longs from this point onwards. So we have that new demand. Alright, so we've had a straight push up. Okay, so this could be the liquidity that we need, okay, before to be taken for this demand to work. So what that would look like is, if we look at that, so there's what, 15, so let's just say 16 pips, and then we're looking for 2R. That'll be a good 2R. Okay, that'll be a good 2R. So we could be looking for longs from this POI. Okay, so we're looking for longs from here, and then maybe shorts when you get up there. Okay, so those are the trade ideas for today. Let's see what else we have. Alright, I think that's clear here. So we're pretty much expecting similar things. So one could trigger and the other one may not. So we have this demand where we're looking to go long, and then we have this and then we have this supply where we can look to go short. So the idea is to just get quick returns, okay, in and out, go for 2R, in and out, go for 2R, and then you get your profits. And then same here on the Euro USD, you get your intros, you get your 2Rs up there, and then you get your 2Rs down there. Okay, so other than that, I think this is good for us. So have a great day, and working trader out. So I'll see you tomorrow.